VanlifeRocks. My name is Ray, and welcome back to the channel. Living the van life, day number 1199. Living in a van. If you're new here, this channel is about outdoor adventures, living the van life, and travel tips. So thank you all for being here. And yeah, this live stream is gonna be a hard one for me. This one's gonna be we're gonna go into a deep dive on my story, on how I transitioned from a normal life, I guess, or conventional life to van life. And this live stream is heavily influenced or inspired by the movie that just got recently released, Nomadland, and we'll be talking about that here pretty soon. But thank you all for being here. Let me, as people come in, let me just share this little video for you guys and greet some of the people that are in here right now. All right, enjoy it. All right, so starting from the top, I want to give a shout out to a couple of people. Let me put my banners here. Once again, Skeet from Jiu-Jitsu 2000 on his live stream today was shouting out my channel, ringing the bell. You're awesome. I'm definitely going to get with you and do an interview with you and hang out with your buddies. So I'm looking forward to that. So Skeet, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being my friend. Land Cloud Adventure, Nate, thank you very much for shouting out my channel again this week. I appreciate that. You're awesome, and thank you for being my friend. Nomadic VanLife, Wayne just hit 1,000 subscribers on his channel, so congratulations to you, Wayne. Thank you for shouting out my channel. I really appreciate that. Thank you, my friend.
June 25th, 2020.
Marshall from Mellow Nomadic Adventures, thank you, my friend. Shouting out my channel. It was fun. Doing a live on your live stream yesterday while you're playing the guitar, and I'm streaming the sunset here at the beach. So that was really cool, very fun. Let me go to the chat real quick. Say hello to some people that came in first. On my list, I see Bree. What's going on, Bree? Thank you very much for being here. Chris Scott in the house, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Ron C, thank you very much. Barefoot in Alaska, how you doing? It was good to see you last night. What's going on, Robert?
What? You want to see the inside of my
Badge in the house. What's going on, Badge? There's Wayne. What's going on, Wayne?
VanlifeRocks. My name is Ray, and welcome back to the channel. Living the van life. Today's
hello, R2D. What's happening, brother?
2020.
Hope you're staying warm out there in Texas. With all that snow there, man.
Which is
that's
my
crazy.
Mark,
that's crazy.
I'm super excited to share this video.
Aaron Jameson, what's going on, my friend? Linda Bark in the house. It's Jerry Holly, right? Thank you, Jerry Holly. Awesome. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Kathleen Klein, thank you very much for being here. Going down the list. Wanna Wonder, how you doing, my friend? I need to catch up on your videos. I hope you're doing well. Going down the list. Here we go, here we go. Ford Man in the house. What's going on, Ford Man? James Catneys, what's up, my friend? How you doing? There's Marshall. Thank you very much, Marshall. I'll send you my email here pretty soon. Amy Morris, what's happening? Steve of Desert Adventures in Arizona. What's going on, my friend?
The National Forest is closed to the public, which cancels my plans. I was planning on going up to...
There's Megan. What's up, Megan? How you doing, Megan?
Now with you this season.
You're awesome. And if my moderators could please drop each other's links, I'd appreciate it. Shanna Craft in the house. Thank you very much. Scrolling down the list. What's up, my friend? How you doing? Oh, I love your new logo. That's awesome. I hope you're staying warm out there. Dale Bruce, what's going on, my friend? The man who never sleeps. Step Van Dam, what's going on? All right, so there's 34 in the house. Crash the Wild, what's going on, my friend? My new friend. If you guys don't know him, he's a new channel. and he's up there in Alberta, Canada, and man, his videos are awesome. The mountain scenes, the snowboarding, amazing. Good stuff, my friend. What's going on, B? I have a little video for you later, so stay tuned. Thank you for being here. Justin and Christina, thank you very much for being here. Michael McReynolds, what's happening, my friend? Thank you very much for being here. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. What's going on, my friend? What's happening, Jeff? Van Dan, what's happening? All right. What should I do? What should I do? No, man, thank you. Great footage. What's up, Doreen? Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. All right, so let's drop this down real quick. All right, so like I said earlier, this is gonna be a tough video for me to make. I'm gonna go take a deep dive in my story on my transition from a conventional life to van life, and so I'm gonna be sharing my story, my background, and so we're gonna take a deep dive. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun, and we'll see how it goes. So, like I mentioned earlier, this video, this live stream was inspired by the movie Nomad. Oh my goodness, there you go. And that recently just got released this week, and it's been a movie that's been in progress for about 2 years now, and it's a video about our community. So if you're in the van life, truck life, car life, RV life community, I'm gonna say right now, this is the movie that you have to see, because it's all about our community. And so what we do here, we all support each other. So this is the movie I highly recommend. I watched it twice in the last 24 hours, and I highly recommend that you guys watch it. You can find it right now on Hulu. So if you don't have Hulu, you could download the app. You get a free week, so you could watch the movie for free if you download the app and sign up. So that's what I did. I downloaded the app. I watched the movie twice, and it was good. Now, it's not an Iron Man movie. It's not an action-packed movie. It is slow. It is emotional. And we're going to be talking about that because when I was watching that movie, it inspired me to make this live stream and for me to go deeper into my story and to share with you my history, my transition from a traditional life to van life. And so that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do today with you guys. So thank you all for being here. Let's see if I can get through this live stream without crying, but I doubt it. I doubt it. So all right. So from the movie NomadLand, there's 5 major key takeaways that I took away from that movie. One is to deal with loss. Loss. When you're losing somebody, you're saying goodbye to somebody, you have a death, you're going through a divorce. So loss was one key takeaway. Number 2 is economics, work, income, jobs, housing, all that stuff. We're going to take a deeper dive into that right now. Number 3 is a movie about van life, and it's not the Instagram van life vans that you see on Instagram, but it's more of a van like I have, more of a ratty van, you know, a van that someone might be forced into living in, or make that choice to live that type of van life. So that's number 3. Number 4, it talks about the community, the van life community, not only on YouTube, but the community that shows up every year in Arizona for the RTR. They get together, and we'll talk about that as well. And number 5 is adventure. So loss, economics, van life, community, and adventure. So, all right. So in the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but I highly recommend that you guys watch it. In fact, let's go ahead and take a poll here. I'm going to ask you guys, put a 1 in the chat if you've seen the movie. Put a 2 if you haven't seen the movie yet. or 3 if you don't want to see it at all. You've seen it, you haven't seen it yet, or you don't want to see it. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate that. What's going on, my new friend? Thank you very much for coming over here from Skeet's channel. I really appreciate that. What's going on, Auntie? Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. We have a lot to cover tonight. A lot. Let me scroll up real quick. I saw a few people come in. I want to say hello to... thanks again. I appreciate it. I saw Skeet. Where's Skeet at? What's up, Red? Red, how you doing, my friend? Thank you very much for being here. Deanna Fairchild, how you doing, my friend? Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Let me move this thing a little bit. Hello, hello. Thank you, my friend. What's going on, Ronald? All right, so let's see. I'm gonna go to the very top. Let's see how many. Gina in the house. What's going on, Gina? All right, I see 2s. I see a few 1s, 3s, 2s, lots of 2s. Okay, good. All right, I'm glad to see a lot of 2s. That way I could kind of give you a heads up on what to expect. I won't spoil it for you. I won't spoil it for you. Yeah, I highly recommend it. All right. So yeah, it's a slow movie. There's not many words in it. It's slow, it's emotional, but it reminds me of my van life adventure so far. So I've lived in my van now for 1,199 days, 3.5. Had this van for over 4.5 years, living the nomadic life, and we're gonna get into that. So yeah, so if you haven't seen the movie, you can go to Hulu and watch it for free. What's going on, Ashley? Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about the movie. So in the movie, Fern, oh my gosh, that movie there. She, in the very beginning, she goes through a loss, and she loses her husband, and she makes that transition into a nomadic life because it's too expensive to live, right? So that goes into the economics of it. Income, loss of income. You lose a husband, you lose a wife, you lose a spouse, you lose a girlfriend, you lose a best friend, you lose a roommate, and your income has just been cut basically in half. The cost of housing, the cost of living, the cost of utilities, taxes. I mean, you name it. It's so expensive to live, and so the movie deals with the economics and basically where this country is going. In fact, maybe the whole world. And this video was shot pre-pandemic, and ever since then, you guys know how the economy is going, and we'll see. We have some tough times and challenges ahead of us that we need to deal with, sure. So loss, income, and then van life. You're gonna see her, Fern, the character in the movie, make that transition into van life. It's a struggle for her that first winter, and so it gives you a really good picture on what van life is, and it was just almost like looking in the mirror in a lot of ways. And the community, which is the third thing or the fourth thing in the video that I took from it, is a community. We have a great community here on YouTube, but we also have a great community out when we're out in the streets, on the road. I've been to the RTR 3 times, but I've been to Quartzsite 4 or 5 times now. And you always bump into people that you know and see, or you recognize vehicles, and it's just a strong community, especially when the sun goes down and you're around the campfire, and it's when the magic happens. And they show that on this video. They have these conversations. Bob Wells is in this video, and he, you know, the video portrays van life in a very good way, or, you know, and shows all the struggles as well. What else? And then adventures. There's a big element of adventure, new horizons, getting out there in nature, connecting with nature. So those were the 5 main takeaways from the movie that I got. So now what I'm going to try to do is thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. There's 41 in the house. And now what I'm going to do is kind of go step by step and kind of give you my story based on the same timeline of the movie. So when you watch this movie, or when you watch the movie and you remember this live stream, you're going to see my story based on when you're watching the movie, if that even makes any sense. All right. So how did I get to van life? How did I get here? So how did I get to purchasing this van? This is Base Camp. It's a 2005 GMC Savannah 15-passenger van that I converted into my home. And I've been living in it for over 3 years, 1,199 days. And it's been awesome. And so how did I get here? So, yeah. All right. So in the movie, Fern, right off the bat, starts off in a storage unit. And that's a hard thing to do when you're transitioning from a traditional life into van life. You need to downsize. You need to get rid of a lot of belongings. And you got to decide on what to keep, what to sell, what to give away, or what to donate. And that's hard to do because you have all this stuff, a lot of the stuff you had for most of your life, stuff that you put your hard-earned money into, stuff that you've been given to from family members or friends, and you have to decide on what to keep and what to give away. And that's a hard thing to do. So what I did when I first started van life, I moved into a 5x7 storage unit, and I had to decide on what went in there. So I made 3 lists, stuff I wanted to sell. And when I sold those things, I used that money for the van. So I started to purchase things on Amazon for the van: a Coleman stove, fans, USB ports, USB cables, charging devices, solar panels, batteries, clothing, hiking equipment, hiking gear, a bed, pillows, blankets, all this stuff. So let me go further back, and I'm going to go into my childhood a little bit. Thank you all for being here. So the way I look at my life in 4 different stages in my life. The first stage is my youth. The second stage is my first marriage. The third stage is my second marriage, and my fourth life is now van life. So there's 4 stages in my life that I kind of look back on, 4 periods in my life. So this is like my 4th life on how I look on everything. So in my youth, I grew up in a very loving family, and unfortunately, in my life, there's been 4 major deaths in my life, and that I've experienced in my family or friends, and it was hard. So I learned right away that life is short, life is precious, and you got to make the best of the time that you have, because tomorrow's not guaranteed, right? You don't know when it's time for you to go. So I was 11 years old when I lost my father. One day on a Friday night, he was coming home early from work so that we can go to church. And that night, he didn't come home, and we didn't know what happened to him. He drove home. He was involved in a car accident, and we didn't find out till the next day that he had passed. So I was 11 years old. I was very young. I'm the oldest in my family. I have 1 brother, 1 sister, and so I was the oldest, and I became the somewhat man of the house at 11 years old. And it was hard, and I'm sure it was really hard for my mother, because my mom had to work 2 jobs, raise a family, and it was difficult, and it was a challenge. But I grew up in a very loving family, a very close family, and we don't talk about death in my family. We don't. There's conversations in our family that, even though we're really close, we're extremely close and loving, but there's some subjects that's hard to talk about. And so this live stream right now is gonna be really hard for me to share with you, because I don't even share this stuff basically with my own family, and we're gonna talk about all that. So I lost my dad at 11 years old, and it was tough, because we had dreams about having a construction company, and I was gonna work for him, and all kinds of stuff was gonna happen. But all that changed. All that stuff changed. And so the movie, when I was watching this movie, it reminded me of losing people. It's when you lose someone like your father, right, the sole breadwinner of the family, it's like, there goes your income, there goes your way of life. And so it was difficult. And my mom's a super mom, and she's the best mom in the world, hands down. And I'm very lucky for that. And my aunt moved into the family, so I grew up with 2. And so I was very fortunate to have that. And yeah, a couple of years later, thank you all for being here. There's 40 in the house. So loss. So I lost my grandmother in '91. So I think I was about 15 years old. So a few years after that. So that was tough as well. Then I lost a girlfriend, and then I lost my grandmother. So I learned the loss of life early, and the movie, when I was watching the movie, it kind of reminded me of my journey so far. So youth, that was the first stage of my life. And then went to college. I got my degree in economics, and we're going to talk about the economy and jobs and income and career jobs here pretty soon. So I'm very familiar about the economy, how to read the economy, the value of labor, the value of money, the value of work and time. So which plays a major role in what I do now. So the second stage of my life is I got married pretty young. I got married to a family. My ex had 2 daughters, and I was young, and still learning what love is all about. But so we purchased a house, we had a home, and she decides that it was time to end the relationship. It wasn't my choice, but I had to deal with it, right? So we sold the house, and that pretty much ends the phase 2 of my life. And then going into the phase 3 of my life is I got remarried. And let me share some pictures with you guys. Thank you all for being here. There's 38 in the house. And let me see if I could say hello to a few people real quick. Hello, my friend. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. V in the house. I have a video for you later. What's up, Karen? How you doing? Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Hello, my friend. How you doing? Thank you very much for being here. From Canada. Awesome. All right. Blondie's Adventure. How you doing, my friend? Okay. So so my second life. I was older from the first marriage, so I kind of learned some of my lessons, right? Van Life Voyages. How you doing, my friend? How you doing? Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. All right. Oops. Let me back up. Instead of talking, let me show you guys some stuff. All right. So let me share some pictures with you. I got married to my ex, and we purchased a home. I'm 45 years old now. I've always lived in Southern California. And so we purchased a home, and here's my home. It's a beautiful home here in Southern California, 2-story home. It was a home, right? it's not just a house, it's a home, it's a place that we built together and raised my son, and you know, did the traditional lifestyle, right? That we're all, you know, we grow up, we go to school, we get a career job, we get a house, we get married, we have kids. So that's what happened, right? That I was following the path that, you know, that's how we're raised to do, right? Here's another picture. Here's a picture of the backyard. This is one of my pride and joys. A swimming pool. It was like a little mini resort for me. It was absolutely beautiful. Let me see. I think I have a small video here. There you go. There's a waterfall going. And raised a family. We were married for 5 years, and you know, did everything that we're supposed to do, right? Go to work, pay the bills, own a home, make improvements on it, mow the lawn, pull weeds, all that fun stuff, right? So yeah, that was one of my pride and joys. It was fun to have. And then, you know, raising the son, and it got to that point again where, you know, my ex decides that it was time to go through a divorce. So this is not my choice again. This was my second divorce that I had to go through in my life. And at this point in my life, you know, I'm trying to weigh the I guess the questioning the path of where life should go or lead me, or, you know, I was trying to figure out where I should go. So we decided to sell the house. It's not a home anymore. We decided to sell the house, and it was time to start parting our ways, start selling some stuff. And at that point in my life, I was a prepper. So I was prepping for life emergencies, natural disasters, when life happens, such as divorces or when you lose people. So when I was watching this movie, you know, when Fern in the movie lost her husband and she goes through a difficult life change and from a traditional life into a van life, you know, it reminded me of my time. And so I went through pictures, and this influenced me to make this live stream and to share with you guys, share my story. So downsizing. So at that point in my life, I wanted to figure out what's my next path. Where did I want to go? And it was a tough time. I went through depression. I was questioning myself. I was struggling. I was upset, angry, all kinds of feelings, right? Gained some weight too. Here's a picture of me right here. There's a picture of me, 223 pounds, overweight. Of course, I'm only showing you my face, but during this time in my life, I didn't take pictures of myself. And so I was going through pictures. I'm like, where's, you know, pictures of family gatherings of me? No, I didn't want to be pictured because I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to show my face, to show what I was going through. I was hiding it. I was hiding it inside. So going through all kinds of different emotions in that period of time, and I decided to get out. And what I mean by that, I decided to get out in nature. So I purchased something, and this was one step into nature. And this is something that I purchased, and this is my Jeep. So I got into off-roading. I purchased this Jeep. This is a 1992 Wrangler, fully equipped, fun, some Jeep, and it was a major step, and it was a major reminder of the importance of getting out in nature, exploring, going on adventures, looking at the horizon. And when I'm out there, the vast horizons, the beauty, and the world is so big that it reminded me that my problems were this big to me. You look at the Grand Canyon, you look out in the ocean, you look out in the forest and the mountains, and you see this vast landscape, and then it reminds me that my problems are this big compared to the beauty, to the world, to everything else that's going around. So, and it also reminded me of when I was a child, camping with my grandfather, fishing with my dad, going to the snow, going to the mountains, camping by the fireplace, and it reminded me of getting out in nature. And this movie, that when I watched the NomadLand movie, it reminded me of those times, and it brought back a lot of feelings, and it was really cool to see. So yeah, bought the Jeep. After that, I purchased a motorcycle, another way, a means of getting out there and exploring nature. I'll share that with you right now. This is a 1994. Oops. Let me go back real quick. There we go. This is a 1994 XR 400 dual sport. It's a motorcycle that you could take on the street and on the dirt. And this was a tool for me to get out in nature and explore. And again, it took me out into places where there was nobody around except for me, except for this huge, massive land, this beautiful world that we live in. And it reminded me again of my problems are this big, right, compared to everything else. All right, let me take that down. Let me take that down. Thank you all for being here. There's 41 in the house. Let's see if anyone's coming through real quick. Joy, blessed life. Thank you very much, friends, for being here. I appreciate it. Adventures in Xanadu. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, you when you're out there, out in the middle of nowhere, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. All right. Where do I want to go next? Chasing America. Perfect timing. That's what I want to do. I wanted to chase America down. Still in the hat. Yep. Still had my Under Armour hat, Megan. Some things change, some things do not, right? All right. So yeah, so during that time, let me see. Getting rid of possessions, exploring the outdoors, realizing nature and adventures could be healing, and that's what I learned during that time period. So I decided to sell more possessions, and one day on YouTube I came across Adventure Van Man Brian on YouTube. He was the first person to see living in a van, and he lived in San Diego, which was an hour away from me, and he's about my age. I think he's probably about 6 months older than me. So I see this guy living in a van who had Brian from Adventure Van Man living in a van, had a career, he had his own business, my age, living in a van, and I saw the solar panel on the roof of the van, and that's when I realized that, hey, you know, you could stick some solar panels on a vehicle and possibly live out of it, right? You know, I wasn't really sure. You know, when I wanted to go into van life, I didn't want to suffer. It's not about suffering. I want to, you know, live life a different way. And so when I saw his video, it kind of opened my eyes. I started watching a bunch of YouTube videos. And so Brian from Adventure Van Man, Brian was the first person to do this. And he was my age, and he was sharing his experiences, his road trips, and it was checking off all the things I wanted to do, right? Go out and venture, work possibly at these places like Amazon, like in the movie Fern. She works at Amazon. She's doing work camping. She's working at national parks, and you'll see it in the movie. And she shares her experiences, and it reminded me of, you know, I could live in and have a career, or work side jobs, or work at Amazon or wherever, kind of like Brian. So after watching videos, I came across Bob Wells, and Bob Wells, one of his first videos that I saw, he was showing you how to poop in a bucket. And so now I know how to solve the issue of I could have energy in a van, right, or a vehicle. At that time I didn't know if it was gonna be a van for sure, but Bob Wells spoke to me. He told me, hey, you could poop in a bucket in a bag. So that solved the issue of going to the bathroom. If I'm in my van somewhere where there's no bathrooms available, I could just poop in a bucket. And so the video, the movie, NomadLand, she poops in the bucket, and she goes and she shows you the struggles of living in a van. And I use the word struggle as a challenge. So when I say the word struggle, it's a challenge. If I say suffering, then it means pain. So there's a big difference for me between struggle and suffering. So, and I don't mind suffering. Suffering, in fact, I prefer to suffer. In fact, doing this video right now is a struggle. So struggling to make this video is a challenge, and I'm gonna try to get through it. I'm trying to get through it. All right, so Bob Wells. So Brian, Bob Wells. So I continued to watch more videos, and I came across a video of Box Van D on Bob Wells's video, Cheap RV Living. And Box Van D, 4 years ago, was living in a car, her Pontiac car, and I watched her video, and it inspired me, and it taught me that I could live in a vehicle despite my health, despite income, despite my history, despite what I was going through in life, and it was doable, right? So I solved the issue that I could put solar on my roof, I could poop in a bucket, and that it was doable despite what I was going through in life. And so I started to watch more videos. And seeing the movie again brought back those memories of going through that transition of building out my van. So in the movie, Fern in the movie builds out her van a little bit. She shows you the struggles that she's going through in life. And let me show you some pictures real quick. Early on in the van, so I purchased the van, and I stored it at a storage unit that you could store RVs and stuff like that. And that's where I did most of my van build. Again, this is a 2005 GMC Savannah, and I ripped out the 4 rows of seating in the back of the van, and I started to play with different layouts, and I started to purchase more things. I started to sell more things. I sold my motorcycle. I sold more possessions to, fund my van build. Here's another look inside the van. Here's the look of the refrigerator. That's a 65 quart Nomadic refrigerator, dual zone. You can see my battery system, which is underneath my bed, and my electronics. And so when I had that van for the first 6 months, I was taking small trips. I was learning to see what was important to me, or what I needed in the van. I didn't just build out the van and then go into van life. No, I was taking the van out on small trips to the desert, to the beach, to the mountains, and figuring out what I needed. So see if I have a picture of that. Oh, I don't have a picture of that. Well, so next to my bed, or next to the refrigerator there, I have a military style cot. And so I threw that military style cot in the back of my van. And, I started taking small trips, put a sleeping bag back there, took my, and for 2.5 years, hold on. See if I'm gonna go back up. Hold on, yeah, let me back up a little bit. So started building out my van, figuring out what I wanted to do, because soon I was going to become homeless. So in the movie, you're going to see when you watch the movie, Fern goes through these tough times where she has to explain to family members or friends, you know, that are concerned for her, right? Because she's going through a life-changing event in her life where she's going from a traditional life into a van life. And so she's has to meet these tough questions. What are you doing, right? What are you doing? You're going into a van. You can come stay at my house. Are you homeless? You know, so the movie reminded me of that time in my life when, you know, I bought the van. I was taking it out on trips, and I was afraid. I was afraid to sorry, I got distracted. I was afraid to tell my friends and tell my family that I was about to live in a van. They knew I had the van. They knew I was building out a van for adventures, right? It was an adventure van. And I lost my job. So I lost my career job, something during the van build. I lost my job. It was my career job, something I did very well. No fault of my own again. It was out of my control. So the movie reminded me of her tough times when she was going through struggles in the movie during the events in my life when I lost my job, my career job, something I went to school for, and I was working my way up the chain, right? And then it gets taken away from me. Life happens, shit happens, natural disasters happen, right? So it was time to make that step, right? It was time to make that step into van life. And van life in the movie is shows people that are almost forced into this lifestyle, forced into living in a van. And at that time in my life, when I lost my career job, I had to decide, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to rent out an apartment for $1,000 a month just so that I could say I could live in a sticks and bricks? Was I going to rent a room? Was I going to live with family? No, I didn't. I was done with that. I was done with the rat race at that point. I was done chasing the career job. I was done wanting to have a house. And so I'm watching more YouTube videos. And let me say hello to a few people real quick. Let me break it up a little bit. Paula in the house. What's going on, Paula? Purple Tube, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Kathleen Klein, what's happening? Let me scroll up. Happy Place Camping, what's happening? Thank you very much for being here. All right, I think I have everybody. All right, let's get to some more stuff. So the movie reminded me of all these emotions, feelings, the events in my life, and it definitely inspired me to do this live stream, to share more with you guys. And moving forward, you're gonna see another shift in my video making videos. So I highly recommend that you guys watch this movie. When you watch the movie, it shows you the struggles. It shows you what winter van life is. It shows you the struggles of work and having friends and losing friends or saying goodbye to people just on the road. You know, it shows you the times that we live in, the struggles of living in a house or owning a house or trying to purchase a house to live in it for 30 years and try to pay off the house in 30 years and all the struggles that goes along with it. And just reminded me that, you know what, it's time to change. So I decided to live in the van full time. And that's when the adventure started for me. I was working 5 days a week, and on my weekends I was taking these trips. living in a van, living in the city, living the city van life. So I had to purchase a van that was stealth, something I could live on the streets, live out of my storage unit, live out of the gym, take showers at the gym, work out at the gym, go to work, and have this somewhat of a secret life, a stealth life, a life that's different from traditional life, a life that I didn't tell any of my coworkers. I didn't tell my family. No, that's not true. I didn't tell my best friends that I lived in my van. I did tell my family that I lived in a van, that I was living on the streets, that I was taking these adventures. So my family knew for the first 2.5 years that I was living in a van. But my friends didn't. My coworkers didn't. My boss didn't. I had a P.O. box. I'd take showers at the gym. I stored all my stuff at the storage unit. And people would say, "What are you doing with the van?" "Hey, I go on adventures." And I'd show them pictures. "Hey, I went to the beach. I went to the desert. I went to the mountains." And they're like, "Whoa, that's cool. Where'd you go this weekend? Where'd you go this weekend?" But they didn't know that I lived in it. And so I did that for 2.5 years because I was afraid to make these conversations, to have those conversations, those tough conversations. That's also in the movie. Are you homeless? You live in a van? Come stay at my place. I didn't want to answer any of those questions. I wasn't ready to answer those questions. I'm still, to this day, don't answer a lot of those questions. So my family knows I live in a van, but they don't know that I have this YouTube channel. My son knows I have this YouTube channel, and but I'm not ready to share these adventures yet with my family. I don't know, maybe because I'm afraid to have that conversation. And I think it goes back to having tough conversations. I don't know, it's just something I've always had a challenge with, and I need to work on that. And so that's going to change. After watching the movie, it brought back those memories, those memories, those emotions, those feelings, all that stuff. And so I highly recommend that you guys watch this movie. If you're a member of this community, which you are, right, you're going to want to watch this movie. You're going to want to support the people that were in this movie. There's nomads that I know of, that were in the movie, that played characters in the movie. And I could see the scenery that I visit, once every 3 months or whatever, so you definitely want to watch this movie. I highly recommend it. Man, it brought back so many memories. And it's hard for me to explain that to you guys, but when you watch it, it's a slow movie, but you're going to get a lot of joy from it, I think. All right. So my son. So the first 2.5 years while I was working, I was living the stealth life in a stealth van. My family knew I lived in it. My son lived in it, and we had a ball. My son and I, on these weekends, we would go on these adventures. In the first 2.5 years, my son and I went to 36 different places in 2.5 years. We went everywhere: the Grand Canyon, Yosemite, the beach, the desert, the Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon, Zion, all Arizona, everywhere. And it was amazing. And it reminded me of my past with my grandfather and my dad, growing up, having those campfire hangouts, hanging out with hanging out with my father and my grandfather, fishing, hiking, being out in nature. And to have those 2.5 son is amazing. And I hope he takes a small piece of what I gained and what I've experienced with my time with my son during that time. And it was something that money, a career job, a house, possessions could ever replace. What I mean by that is it was priceless, and we still go on adventures, and I look forward to more adventures with my son. But right now, unfortunately, going through this pandemic, things have a little bit changed. He's being homeschooled right now, so hopefully he'll be able to come out on some adventures here pretty soon. So hopefully that happens. And so those 2.5 years of living in the van full time, the city van life, those weekend adventures. 2020 hit, right? So April of 2020, the country shuts down. I lose my job again, right? I lose 2 jobs this time. I was working for a production company, or a restaurant, and again, stuff happens, life happens, and I had to adjust. And luckily, you know, I had the van. This van has been a lifeboat for me. It saved my life in many ways. Many ways. It's hard for me, and it's hard for me to explain how this van has saved my life, but it has. And in the movie, Bob Wells talks about how the economy is kind of like a sinking ship, and he's there to provide, you know, lifeboats. And this van to me is a lifeboat in many ways, emotionally, financially, spiritually, in many ways. This van is a lifeboat. So going through this experience now in my 4th life, right? My 4th life, or my 4th period in my life. Going through now a pandemic, everything shut down. I lose my jobs, and now I am forced to struggle through life again. Lucky me, right? I'm lucky. And let's see if I have any more pictures real quick so I can break this up for you guys. Let's see if anyone's come through the house. What's going on, Red? How you doing? Thank you very much for being here. Daryl in the house. What's happening, Daryl? Thank you all for being here. There's 48 in the house. And if you guys haven't seen the movie, once again, there you go. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I highly recommend that you guys watch it. It's inspired this live stream, and thank you all for being here. There's 48 in the house. All right. So, 2 years living the van life. April of 2020, everything gets shut down. Shit happens. Life happens. Pandemic happens, right? And it's time to us. It's time to, you know, figure out what's the next step. And during that time, I've always known I wanted to do a YouTube channel, and I've had a YouTube channel in the past. But in April, at that time, I knew I wanted to have a YouTube channel. I knew I wanted it to be VanlifeRocks. But now I knew it was time to start the channel. And so I took some time, April, May, June, or April and May. I found a community online, and I found you guys. I found Gina, Van Life with Gina, and she introduced me to you guys in this community. And it changed the way I thought I wanted to do YouTube. When I first did YouTube, I was all about the subscribers, money, business, whatever. That completely changed when I met Van Life with Gina on YouTube. She introduced me to this community and completely shifted everything what this channel is all about, and even going forward is all about. This channel is about connecting with you guys as a friend, as a family, as a community, online, in person. So that was a major shift in van life. And June, I started producing videos, and okay, so watching the movie, it reminded me of a community. It reminded me of connecting with people. The value of you're not alone. You're not alone at any time. I could make a video, create a video, or I could connect with people on their videos. I could make a comment in their videos and connect with them as a friend as a YouTube friend, as a family member. So the watching the video, it reminded me and it refocused my attention of what van life is to me, and it's going to shift the way I make videos here in the future. So you're going to see a little bit of a shift on how I make videos, on how I connect with you guys. So I'm really excited about that. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, I recommend it, highly recommend it. See it soon so you can support our community, because it is all about our community. There was a movie back in 2007, Into the Wild, where, you know, a guy grows up and sells all his possessions and he moves to Alaska. He gets a bus and he goes to Alaska. And so this movie is about a woman going through changes in her life, trying to survive, living in a van. And it was definitely inspiring. It definitely inspired me to make this video and want to share with you guys more. So there was a lot, I shared a lot with you guys for me in this live stream, but I plan on sharing more with you guys because it's important. It's important to share these stories because I'm not alone. You're out there. My family's out there. My friends are out there. This community is out there. And so I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to be part of your community, and I'm super excited about it. And watching this video or watching the movie reminds me of, you know, what my path is. And so I highly recommend you guys watch it. Man, let me see if what's next. Let me find out what's next. All right. Okay, so feel free to leave any comments, questions. I will answer every single question that you guys have. So leave it in the comment, leave it in the chat down below. Let's see if I miss anybody coming in. I'm gonna have a couple more shout outs real quick. So if you have any questions, please put it in the comment section. I will answer those comments right here, right now for you guys. And thank you all for being here. There's 47 in the house. Roy and Becky's Travels, how you doing, my friends? Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. What's going on, my friends? How you guys doing? Thank you very much for being here. Let's see if I missed anybody come in. Hello, RT Dude. What's happening, my friend? Okay, so let me do 3 quick shout outs again. Just in case they weren't here or if you guys missed it. Real quick, a major shout out to Skeet. He had a live stream today. My friend, my buddy, Skeet, Jiu-Jitsu 2000, shouted out my channel, and I'm looking forward to sending an email to you, my friend. I'm definitely going to connect with you, and we're going to get together, my friend. So shout out to you. Thank you very much for being my friend, for being my brother, and looking forward to some adventures, my friend, for sure. Land Cloud Adventures. Nate, thank you very much for shouting out my channel this week. I really appreciate it. Nomadic VanMan. Wayne, congratulations on 1,000 subs today. That was awesome on your live stream. Thank you very much for shouting out my channel. I appreciate it. Marshall from Mellow Nomadic Adventures. Thank you very much, Marshall, for shouting out my channel. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for being here. And Paula, thank you very much for being my friend. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for helping me through my YouTube journey and helping me to get out here and do these live streams, because it is hard. And so thank you for your help, my friend. I really appreciate it. Van Life with Gina, you're awesome. Again, words can't explain. You're awesome. You're amazing. Thank you for building a community. Thank you for building a community. And thank you for building a community, because it's awesome. It's awesome. Thank you for all my moderators. Let's see if Van City Adventure. Daryl, thank you very much, my friend, my brother. Looking forward to seeing you here soon. Hopefully sooner than later. Thank you for all my moderators. Thank you very much, Daryl, for being my friend. I appreciate it. Okay, so if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, something that you want to share, leave it in the comment sections down below. Let's see if I've missed anything. I think I said everything I wanted to say or share, I think. Let me do a quick video. This is for V. V requested this little short video, so I'm going to play this for V. So enjoy it. I'm here at the beach, day number 3 of 4 or 5, I'm not sure, but it's been fun, and taking this time to share this with you. So enjoy. I can't believe I went through that live stream without crying. That's amazing so far. So far. Thank you all for being here. There's 42 in the house. You guys are amazing. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to bring up some friends to help me answer some questions. I made like 5 pages of notes for this live stream. So today and a little bit of yesterday has been fun to go back on pictures, memories, and emotions, and it's been fun being able to share this with you guys. So thank you all for being here. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up my friends. I'm gonna bring up Paula from Van Vita Travels. Paula, you ready? She's ready. What's up, my friend? How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Does a tear running down my cheek count as crying?
Yes. Yes, it does.
I did. I was like, I could, like, I don't know. You could feel that part of you watching that. And I know how hard that was for you to share that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. And I seriously, knock on wood. So far, I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to bring up.
You know what? You're helping a lot of people by sharing that. Right?
Yeah. And that's what I took from the movie. It's like when I watched the movie, Nomadland, it reminded me of like it's the importance of sharing a story. How to share your stories can be very impactful on people, on friends, and family. So there's gonna be some changes. I'm gonna bring up Megan from Going Green Mom. My friend, are you ready? She's ready. What's up, Megan? How you doing?
Hey guys.
What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, I'm just like That was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And it's hard to share, you know, one's life story all within what, a minute or an hour and 7 minutes. It's hard to get everything in there, but I'm sure, of course, I missed everything, or there's a lot that I missed, and I definitely want to share more with you guys. But it was, I'm glad I shared it. I'm glad I shared it, for sure.
But you know
for
what?
sure.
When you grow up not talking about certain things, and that's just the way it is, that makes it a lot harder for you to share than people that didn't have it that way.
Yeah, yeah. Talking about death, talking about whether it's a serious conversation about buying a house or buying a car or getting married, or, you know, any of those serious conversations. It's hard in my family to have those, or it's hard for me to have those conversations with my family, and maybe the other way around as well, I think, or it seems like it. But yeah, it's definitely hard to, it's hard for me to share my story, and I'm working on it. I'm working on it, and I'm working on it to get better at it. And I'm trying. Okay, so I'm sure I missed a lot of comments. I'm sure I missed a lot of questions. Like I always do.
You know,
so did you guys?
I think I only have 5 written down.
Okay, cool.
So Marshall was the first one, and he wants to know if you enjoyed the movie.
I did. Again, you have to go into it knowing that it's a slow movie, and if you understand that, you're gonna like the movie. If you're in this community, you're gonna like this movie. You're gonna see people. You're gonna recognize people in this movie. There's characters and behind the scenes that you're gonna recognize from other YouTube videos or other YouTube channels in our community. So yes, I enjoyed the movie, and I watched it twice, and I highly recommend it. Did I answer your question? Jeez.
I think you answered that one, and it kind of rolls right into one from Ron about how many times did you have to pause the movie while you collected yourself?
Well, being a YouTuber, I'm always, things don't always go like you go to work, you go home, you go to sleep when you're doing YouTube, right? You have videos that pop up, you have live streams that pop up. So there was a lot of distractions, so I had to stop the movie multiple times for both YouTube reasons and emotional reasons. So yeah, there was a few times where I had to pause, go back, and rewatch it. Did I actually see that? Yeah, there's been a couple times. There's a few times in the movie where I had to stop and remember those periods in my life that you know that came up. You know, those feelings that came up at that time. So yeah. What else did I miss?
Okay, so there's a couple older ones, but Red has had 2 questions. So at one point you were talking about going out on all these adventures with your son. How old was he during that period of time when you guys could actually get out and do things? And then how old is he now?
So he's now, and so during the time we're going through the divorce, he was 3 years old, and so we were going on these adventures when he was ages of the age. That doesn't make sense. I'm really bad with times and dates. He was 3 years old when okay, no, that's right. Okay. He was 3 years old when we went through a divorce, but he was 7, 8, 9 years old when we were taking these adventures. 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
And then an earlier question from V was, while you were building out your van home, did you couch surf? Did you have a place of your own? How did you deal with that part of your journey?
Yeah. So let's see. Again, I'm really bad with dates. So there was a period of time when I lived with my mom. I was 40 years old. I was going through the time where I was taking those adventures on the Jeeps and motorcycle adventures. But when I purchased the van, I was living with a roommate, and so I was renting a room. And so during the process of buying the van, the purchase of the time of when I was a roommate, that's when I bought the van. I was building out the van. I kept the van in the storage unit, so I would go to my storage unit. I would work on it on my days off or after work or whatever. So I was living with a roommate to answer your question. When I purchased the van, when I built it out, as soon as my roommate moved away, and right around that same time, I lost my job, my career job. That's when I took the step, or that's when I had. It was at that time where I had to make this decision of either renting a room, getting an apartment, or living the van life. And so that's when I made that step towards van life. 3.5 years ago.
Okay. Are you still here? I was gonna say, there's been a couple times you've kind of been choppy tonight, and I'm going, is this my internet or your internet?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It just cuts out just a little bit every now and again.
Okay. If there's something that I need to repeat or explain, just let me know.
I was gonna say, I think that covered the question. I mean, it just was at the very end that it cut off some.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Awesome.
Those are the same questions that I had seen, but I thought it was interesting. Ron C had made a comment that said, I'm amazed at how Ray's solution is to heartbreak has resulted in his weight loss. And I thought that was really interesting. And I thought that was extremely vulnerable of you to share that picture too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, during that time after the divorce, I was depressed. I was upset. I was angry. I was careless. I was, I was questioning the value of life. I was, just depressed. I was a depressed person. So I let myself go. I didn't care. What's the point, right? So as soon as I got into, nature, or got outdoors, and I got the Jeep, and I got the motorcycle, get outdoors, that's when I realized that, okay, nature and adventures is healing. And yeah. But then when I actually started losing the weight was when I moved in my van. You're limited on what you have in a van. You're limited. I don't have a kitchen in my van. So I needed to.
It's easy to eat junk food when you don't have a kitchen, right? Like, it's a conscious decision to eat well, because some foods, like sometimes when you don't get any comfort or joy in life, you can find it in food. Some people find it in alcohol. Some people find it in, risky kind of situations. But I identify with the food.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and speaking of the food, he would like to know how you have lost the weight, which I think you covered probably the exercise part. But if you want to go into the food part, I know that's been part of your journey too.
Awesome question. Thank you. So again, in a van, you're limited on what you can carry, what you bring, how often you eat. Things take longer living in a van. It just does. It's shuffling around, doing the van shuffle, moving things around. I purposely didn't want a kitchen in my van because I wanted to struggle. I wanted a challenge. I wanted to see if I could live differently, right? All the things that were brought up I started to question everything in my life. I decided to question careers, how we eat, what we do, what we believe in. There was a lot of things I went through in my life during that time, living into a van, where I questioned everything. everything I questioned. So I started looking into different ways of living, obviously because of van, but eating, everything. So I looked into keto. I changed my diet. I try to get rid of sugars and breads and carbs and all that stuff. So I looked into keto, and again, and that's when I started to realize the power of walking. The power of walking is amazing. I can't stress that enough. Small steps equals big wins, and I'll say that for the rest of my life. Yeah. So walking, hiking, walking, just I walked my butt off, out in nature, out on the treadmill when I was at the gym, out on the roads, just getting out, so, and it's so powerful being out in nature, being out in the beauty of this world, and it gives you time to think. It gives you time to reflect. That's when I have most of my ideas, is when I'm on a walk. I have my music or whatever, I'm out in nature, and that's when ideas pop in my head. That's when I could have time to myself, no distractions, no YouTube, no family, no friends, no work, whatever. I'm out in nature, just me, and all right. Yeah, it was just me. And so it just gave me time to, question
Stacy's
everything in my life.
wondering if you're ever going to put a kitchen in your van.
I'm working on a cooking station. So I'm not going to have a permanent kitchen, but I am working on having a kitchen station. What's the word I'm looking for? Kitchen.
That makes sense, right, Megan?
I was going to say, coming from kitchens, yeah, a cooking station makes sense, especially
okay, so,
the way you have talked about planning to do it, which, by the way, what happened to the pop-up live last week?
I know. Sometimes I have good ideas, sometimes I don't. So I'm coming up with a cooking station. So normally when I'm boondocking, I'm cooking right by the barn doors outside my van. I'm standing outside. The kitchen or my cooktop burner is on the floor of my van, and I'm cooking there when I'm boondocking. Okay. But now on my last trip, I realized I could now start cooking from my passenger seat. So on my passenger window, I have a screen, so I could roll down the window. I have a screen to allow for ventilation when I'm cooking on my passenger seat where my cooktop sits. And so I can now sit in the driver's seat as I'm cooking while my food's cooking on the passenger seat. So this week I'm working on a cooking station that I can move. I could move. It's a 2-layer cooking station, one for storage, and then when I'm actually cooking, I could put the stove on top of it, and I can move it around. I could put it on my passenger seat. I could put it on my storage bins. I could put it next to the barn doors, and I can cook from there.
Are you gonna do it similar to Tim's with Mo Bang for Your Bucks?
He has a chuck box, and it's a great idea, and I recommend people that live in minivans or in vans to have it because it's a cooking station. My station is it's gonna be a little bit different. It's just a little bit different of a setup, but same idea. It's a station where you can move around. Tim could cook outside with it. He can cook it next to his barn doors or the side doors or inside his van. So it's pretty close to it. Yeah.
Solex is wanting to know how you're planning on getting that to be level when you're cooking on your passenger seat.
Yeah. So I could use pillows. I could use this desktop, which is it's on my lap. So I have right now, when I'm sitting here in my driver's seat, I have a pillow, and on top I have a portable lap desk, and on top of my lap desk I have a laptop. So the lap desk is a kind of a wedge, right? So it goes down, and then the other side is wider. So I could place that and it levels out the angle of the seat, and I can place that station on top of the lap desk. So it's gonna be low.
That's not a short freeze.
Yeah, you're breaking up every now and again, Ray.
Oh no! All right.
It's not too bad, but it's happening.
Yeah. Oh man.
I was gonna say, but it makes sense the way if you've got a wedge to fill in that sort of wedge space, then you're at least stacking on top of level.
Yeah, and I'll make a video on it. It's something I haven't seen on YouTube, so I'm excited to share it. And if you're living in a van or a van or a car or RV, this little small cooking station could be helpful for a lot of people.
Are you going to have some way to protect the seat and whatnot, like from splashing or that kind of thing?
Or the hot water that you boil?
Or, if he gets adventurous and decides to fry something or
fry some eggs.
I will be doing that.
Maybe the roof too, right? Like you almost wonder if you do anything that splatters.
Yeah.
You almost need
Yeah. I do have reflectix that I could put against the seat to separate the seat from the cooking area. I have my USB fans that I could blow air out towards, the passenger window. So for ventilation and steam and all that stuff can get out of the van.
Sounds like you have it all figured out and we're going to have to wait for the video.
Coming soon, I promise. I got to build it.
You still promised those ocean scenes, actually swimming and stuff, and that's been a long time coming.
I'll be sharing more, I promise you. Let's see if I see anyone. Solix. So Solix came in the house. Thank you, Solix, for being here. Thank you for the questions. Let's see if anybody else came in real quick. Say hello. Lisa in the house. Thank you very much. Awesome. Let's see. Thanks again, my friend and my new friend. Appreciate you being here. What else? I think.
So Ron C did have a couple more questions.
Yeah, bring it.
When you were trapped in the rat race, did you have an appreciation for the small wonders nature offers, or has that grown since you got out into nature?
Mm-hmm. So when I was doing the rat race, you're working 40 hours a week, actually more than that. I was working 55 to 60 hours a week, right? Chasing that rat race, chasing the promotions, chasing the pay increases and job titles, and you're busy. I was only getting 2, maybe 3 weeks a year to go on these holiday trips. And when you go out on these holiday trips, you're limited on time, or you got to plan these things. And so when I was doing the rat race, it made I lost my sense of adventure, my sense of being out in the outdoors, my sense of being free. And so, losing that career job, and all those life changes, it made me realize, that there's a lot of value in nature and in adventures and the outdoors.
So I was going to say, his follow-up question to that one was, what was the first thing you saw in nature that truly awed and moved you?
The joy on my son's face reminded me of the joy of nature and the joy of adventure, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that is me, right? When you look at your son or your kids, you see yourself. But when you see him go like, wow, I was like, oh my God, that's my dream. That's what I've been missing. That is the joy that I want back in my life. And so when we took those first few trips, I was like, yeah, I'm doing this, regardless of what people say or whatever. So yeah, the joy on my son's face, the adventures, the conversations that we'd have when we're having s'mores or by the campfire, hikes, coming back, being dirty and sweaty and whatever, that was what I saw that reminded me of the joys of being in the outdoors. And then all nature, the Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon, you sit there and you're like, I am nothing compared to this space. My problems is nothing compared to what else is going on in the world and how big this world is. My problems are this big. And every time I go there, every time I'm here at the beach looking at the sunset and the vast oceans and mountains and deserts, like, it's huge and I'm nothing compared to it. So seeing the joy in my son's face, seeing the Grand Canyon, yeah, for sure.
I
I
was gonna
wonder
say-
if
Sorry.
Megan.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, at the age your son would have been, and to see him so happy and stuff, probably would have been similar to the last memories that you had before life started hurting. Right? Like if he was like 7, 8 years old, you hadn't had, like, you still had your dad, you still hadn't been hurt by anything in the world, you still had your dreams, and then you see him happy and you remember, oh, that's what it felt like. And it is possible and it is still out there.
Yeah, for sure. So when I lost my dad when I was 11, it just stopped me, right? It stopped me. I didn't get to have those adventures with my dad. I didn't get to have those conversations and stories and memories, and it stopped there, right, with my dad. So I had to remember those times. I had to remember every time we went fishing, camping, cooking, working, building, all that stuff. But then, life goes on and time, in a way heals things. And then you get so busy in life and then you forget about you don't forget about those memories, but it gets kind of lost. It gets lost. And so when I saw you're right. When I saw his face, for sure, that definitely brought it back.
But it shows the gift that you are giving him, that he's going to get to look back on when all those hard things hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta pull him away from the laptop. I gotta pull him away from the video games and whatever, but he gets over it. As soon as he's out there, he's like, yeah, let's do this, right? So
I was gonna say, I'm sitting here thinking back, and I don't remember much of anything before I turned 13. Actually, it wasn't even when I turned 13. Like, I don't remember much of anything before we moved to Indiana, and I was like 13 and a half. So it's like the thought of, and I've lost both of my parents at this point, but it's like, I can't imagine not being able to remember, because like at that point I wouldn't really remember anything. Going back that far.
Yeah. And so when I was going through that time, when I was questioning myself, I kind of made a decision when I was going through those hard times of going through a divorce and losing my career job and going into the van life. I made a decision. Okay, that's it. I'm making a decision that I am solely trying to focus on positivity. I'm solely going to focus on joy. And so everything I do, I'm going to try to find the joy in it. So I almost forget about all the bad times. That's why I'm so bad about dates. I'm so bad about some of the memories that I have. Like my best friend, who I love very much. He's awesome, and we'll get together, and he'll be like, "Remember when we did this?" I'm like, "No," or "Remember when you did this?" And I'll say no, because some of those things were not bad, but there's things that I chose to forget, and I don't focus on dates, and I don't focus on some of the things that have happened in my past. And so going through watching the movie, going through the photos today when I was trying to upload the pictures, and making a list of the things I wanted to say and share with you guys today, you know, it brought back those memories, and a lot of those memories and a lot of those photos. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, that happened. Oh, I remember this. I remember that house, or I remember that dog, or I remember that, you know, whatever. But yeah, I also, you know, I've chose to try to forget some of my memories as well, because so
Holy crap, deep, you guys. Like killing me over here.
I haven't cried yet. Wow, I'm surprised. I mean, look at the Grand Canyon video. Like that, when I got upset, when I started tearing up when I shared that video with you guys, that was like, that hike, or actually that 2-minute video, is the essence of everything this channel is all about. And so for me to capture that moment during that time, and the planning that it took to get there, to capture the moments, to capture everything and sharing it, that was the essence of what I'm doing right now. And so I got emotional, and it brought, you know, it was awesome to share. Awesome to share.
Speaking of the Grand Canyon, I just, out of curiosity, when you've been there multiple times through a period of years, do you ever just like scream and just get it all out while you're down there? It just seems like it would be a good place with nobody around.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it differently. I mean, I'm not screaming, but I think I do that. I think I try to do that every day. And again, the power of walking is huge, huge. It's my escape. It's my time between my ears to think and to reflect and to focus. And not only am I exercising while I'm walking, but it gives me time. It gives me time to, to scream. It gives me time to reflect and soak it all in. So yeah, I don't scream at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, but yeah, I do.
Don't do the big Tarzan thing.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. It's an amazing.
I guess I'm just kind of imagining it like echoing its way away from me, you know?
But that's kind of the feeling you get. You feel like you yelled and have that echo. Like it just feels so big that it's like nothing else exists.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I mean,
Kathleen says primal scream therapy, Megan.
Get it out, Megan. Get it out. Yeah. No, and that's another thing. I mean, that's why I love climbing Mount Whitney every year. That's why I like hiking the Grand Canyon, because to me that's like one of the ultimate challenges. It's one of the ultimate ways to cause suffering in terms of a walk. Like that's like one of the biggest hiking challenges, or one of the biggest walking challenges. So to put those two hikes up for a challenge each year, it's something I look forward to, and it's so huge. It reminds me that my problems are this big.
Right. I don't think you have to have suffering to find joy. I think you've had a lot of suffering and you still managed to find joy, but it is okay sometimes just to have the good happen without punishing yourself, right?
I think it's hard to realize the joy when you haven't had any suffering, but I don't think we necessarily have to try and like alternate them evenly.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, go ahead. I'm sorry, Megan.
Sorry. And Mike, yes, he is a big cat. He's like 17 pounds. And he's getting very heavy.
Yeah. So I forgot.
It's all good.
Sorry.
No. What was it? What was the question? I forgot what the
There
question
was
was.
no question. It's good. I just think this
Oh, the
this
challenge.
movie hit you in a
Talking
lot
about
of ways.
sorrow and
Yeah. So the challenge. So I like to suffer. I love to suffer. And what I mean by suffering again is challenging myself. It's not caught. I love to struggle. I am always wanting to struggle. I do major hikes to struggle. I live in a van because I want to struggle. I go to the gym, or I went to the gym when it was open because I want to struggle, because that's when I'm growing, right? When you're at the gym and you're working out and you're struggling at the gym, that's when you grow, right? You're forcing yourself to challenge yourself to grow physically, or emotionally, or whatever. And so these long hikes, I suffer doing these hikes. I do those 12, 20-mile hikes in one day because I want to suffer in a challenging way, not in a suffering way. I want to challenge myself, and that's when you grow, is when you challenge yourself, when you test things. When I'm always testing things. When I'm living in my van, actually today I learned 2 things about van life that I didn't know when I've been living in a van for almost 1,200 days.
What'd you learn?
Just small stuff. Oh my gosh, what was it? So on my live stream, I was chatting with Steve. I learned how to do emojis on my computers. What did I learn today in my van? Oh, just small stuff. What was I doing? Just like, okay, instead of placing the cup here, I could put it there, right? And it's more convenient. Or it's like, instead of cooking outside by the floor, I could cook here. So I'm always learning, and I'm always testing things, and where I put my lights, or in this live stream. Like, there's probably 4 new things that I don't know if you guys noticed I did that is different. So I'm always challenging myself. I'm always, working on things. What did I do? You're making me forget.
Oh, it's all good.
that's my shoulder.
I'm forgetting.
I think the fact that, yeah, you have been in your van for so long and you're finding new things every day just shows how you're learning to be more and more open and receptive to things, and
Yeah.
you appreciate even the simplest thing of finding a new place to set something so it's more convenient. I think those are good things.
I was going to say, Red mentioned that she has a tat on her right arm, and it's from a Switchfoot album about the wound is where the light shines through. And there's I don't know if you'd really call it a style of art, but but I don't know if it's China or it's the Asian cultures. They repair cracks and things with gold to make it, it makes it functional again, but it also adds an element of beauty, and you really can't, if you don't have some of those cracks, you don't get that added character and nuance to things.
Does that count for wrinkles too?
It is not an excuse to put on more makeup, Paula. You don't need it.
Shush. Megan, don't start with me. This is Ray's live stream.
Oh, you guys are awesome. All right.
I'm really impressed with how much you shared. It's hard for anyone, but I know how hard it was for you. And you are challenging yourself, and you are growing, and we are all getting the opportunity and the blessing to see it. And it's motivating for us too. So thank you, Ray.
Do not start climbing the green screen.
Okay, I won't.
This is my climber. He
You know
was
what?
concerned with the
There's a
location.
comment by Crash a Wild about being a bit of a closet prepper, and that kind of makes me think back to, like, you were talking about, you're married and you have the house and the home and you were doing prepping, and it's like the way life works, you try to be prepared for things the best you can, but some things you just can't be prepared for. Like, there were so many things that you had control over at that time, but the one thing you didn't is where it went, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to prep for life as much as you can, right? And that's why we have car insurance, right? Just in case we get in a car accident. That's why we have house insurance, maybe, just in case whatever, or flood insurance or health insurance. And
I wish we could get heartbreak insurance.
right. Sometimes in
We'd
life,
be rich.
yeah. And that actually reminds me, to all of those that have been affected by the snow and the crazy winter storms that we've had, thoughts and prayers to everyone that's been affected, to everyone in Texas, anyone that's been affected with the snow and storms and power outages and gas outages and all that stuff. Yeah, hearts and prayers to everyone that's been affected by this. But you have to train for life. You have to train for emergencies. You have to train for life. You have to. In everything that you do, because you just never know. You never know.
And we also have to accept the fact that no matter how much we plan, you just need to learn to let things roll sometimes. You just have to accept it for what it is. And maybe that wasn't the path that was meant for you, and this is going to take you somewhere greater. It's just really hard to focus on that when you're in the middle of the pain.
Yeah.
Holy Christine, knock it off.
Get him, Megan. Get him. Awesome.
Sorry.
All right. You guys think I missed anything else? Hello,
I
Art.
think a lot of people are identifying with the things that you're talking about, right?
That's awesome.
Awesome. He asked a question. Did we miss it?
He asked a question. Let's see if I can go back up.
I know he had said something about riding his bike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hello, Archie Dude. Posted a few videos of him in the winter wonderland. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, if you look at my storage, I have all kinds of hobbies, but bicycling is definitely something.
Yes.
Yeah. That's something I'm definitely going to look into. I want to get a mountain bike. I want to get a motorcycle again so I can go deeper and farther, deeper into the woods, deeper into nature, for sure. Good exercise. What else? Anything else? It's been an hour and 45 minutes. Whoa. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for being here. You guys are amazing. What's going on, Mike? What's up? Yep.
That's right, Mike. And you have to focus on really what is in my control right now. That's all you can do. And just one step at a time so that you don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah.
And you can always control your perspective. So you can adjust your response.
Yeah.
Which makes sense when a person is mentally strong. But when you're in those periods of lows, you need to know yourself to know, am I myself still? Do I still have the coping techniques that I need to get through this like I have everything else in my life? Or do I need a little bit of help? Mm-hmm. And it is always okay to get help.
It takes practice to get to the point that you can be level-headed enough to think about that in those moments.
On snowshoes. Get clean.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. All right. Well, I guess it's an hour and 45 minutes. I didn't think it was going to be that long. Jeez. Well, thank you two for coming up. Megan, you're awesome. Thank you for being my friend, my family member, my moderator. Thank you for all that you do. If you guys don't know Megan, check her out. She goes live on Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Pacific, I think, somewhere around there.
Ish.
Ish. She
I
does.
was gonna say, there's usually a couple of premieres in front of that.
Yep. And then Megan also organizes the raid parade on Fridays, and I definitely need to look into doing that as well. So I'll be contacting you, Megan, for that. So thank you for all you do in the community. You're awesome. Thank you for being my friend, and thank you for coming up here tonight. I appreciate it.
Not a problem at all.
And Megan, thank you for making sure I could get the link to get up here, because I can't do it on my laptop from a text, and I couldn't figure out how to send it, so I had to get Megan to do it for me. As I'll panic. I'm like, oh my God, I can't get in here.
Awesome.
I was gonna say, when you sent me that message, I'm in the middle of, I had just gotten the computer back because I share this computer with my daughter. And I'm like sitting here trying to get this functional and figure out the lighting. It's like,
well, I had a nap, okay, so I was a little bit behind.
Awesome.
I was gonna say, but yeah, in case anybody is interested in joining the raid parade, you can find the link to the form on my about page or in pretty much any of my descriptions. If for whatever reason you find a link that does not work, just send me an email. I am goinggreenmom on YT at gmail.com. And I can get you hooked up with a time to schedule whatever the video is.
Awesome. Megan, you're awesome. Thank you for your help. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Ray.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Night, guys.
Night. And Megan, Paula, you're awesome. Thank you for coming up here. You've given me strength, and you've taught me how to do live streams, and you've changed the way I make videos and do live streams, and you're always so supportive. I really appreciate it. And so, Paula, you're awesome. Thank you for being my friend, my family member. You're awesome. You're awesome.
You're a pretty good kid yourself. That's awesome. And I've learned a lot from you. And so it's been really nice. You know, neither of us thinks we know more than the other, but we do have different skills. And so it's been really nice to work together and help each other grow, and other people in the community joining in with us and teaching us more as well, and making us feel special. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I'm excited for Saturday.
Oh yeah,
Saturday's coming up, so we're gonna have the dating game on your live stream. I will be the bachelor, and I'll be asking questions and trying to figure out a date for me, a virtual date for me. I'm excited.
Ray's gonna have a virtual date, guys. Just call me Cupid. So I can take anywhere from 3 to 8 single females, and I really want us to like overwhelm Ray. And the best thing is, you guys keep yourselves, your identity is revealed to me before you go on the stream, but then you're hidden until we reveal you at the very end. So it's a lot of fun.
Yep, I can't wait. I'm nervous.
You're such a good sport, Ray.
I'm nervous. I'm excited. I am going to put myself out there once again, and looking forward to it. And then, of course, we have our Wednesdays, Nomadic Wednesdays, where I go live 5 p.m., you go live 6 p.m. Pacific, and then Gina. So looking forward to the Nomadic Wednesdays, and it sounds like that's growing here pretty soon, so that there's more channels being involved with that. So looking forward to that. And yeah, Paula, thank you for coming up here. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good night.
You're awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you all for being here. There's 30 in the house. Let's see who's here. Let me say hello if I miss anybody. Amy in the house, what's going on? Can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be fun. Lisa, Kathleen Klein, Ron C. Auntie still here. It's late, Auntie. Bree, thank you for being my moderator. You're awesome. Thank you for all your help. Marshall, thank you very much, my friend. Thank you again for the shout outs. V, I'm going to close this video out with another drone video. If you missed it, let's see. Scrolling. Red, thank you, my new friend. I really appreciate you being here. Mike in the house. Big Mike in the house. Solex, my friend, you're amazing on Saturday night. Amazing. That was awesome. For you to come up on Paula's live stream, that was epic. Epic shit. For sure. Did we talk about poop in today's live? I don't even remember. Hello, RT Dude, my friend. Your brother turns 43 tomorrow. Happy birthday to your brother. I hope your brother is doing well and he's recovering from his incident. So hopefully he's doing well. Happy birthday to you and your brother. That's awesome. Ford Man, thank you very much, Ford Man. I appreciate it. I'm excited for your process and going through school. So that's pretty cool. Very, very cool. Thank you again, Skeet, for shouting me out, and thank you, my new friend, for being here. I appreciate it. Prairie Life, Karen, you're awesome. Thank you very much. It's been fun. What else? So if you haven't seen the new movie, it was just released a few days ago. Check it out. I highly recommend it. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. I'm not affiliated with any of these products or whatever. But I highly recommend that you go watch the movie Nomadic Land. What's it called? Nomadland. And it's definitely a movie for our community and our way of life. So I highly recommend that you guys watch it soon. Okay. Thank you to all my moderators. Thank you all for being here. 1 hour and 53 minutes of fun, and you guys are awesome. So good night. If you guys ever have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Until next time, Van Life rocks.